जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदनंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरवनचारी। Thank you, sir. यमुना तीरवनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। जय राधा विनोद श्री राधे। जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रामाई जय सुदर्शन। जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय। जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजाकचार्य स्तोत्र शत श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद भागवतम की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। So we are reading from Canto 6, Chapter 11, Text 25. Please repeat. न नाकपृष्ठं न च पारमेष्ठ्यं न सार्वभौमं न रसाधिपत्यं न योगसिद्धिरपुनर्भवं वा समञ्जसत्वा विरहय्यकाङ्क्षे। न नाकपृष्ठं न च पारमेष्ठ्यं न सार्वभौमं न रसाधिपत्यं न योगसिद्धिरपुनर्भवं वा समञ्जसत्वा विरहय्यकाङ्क्षे। न नाकपृष्ठं न च पारमेष्ठ्यं न सार्वभौमं न रसाधिपत्यं न योगसिद्धिरपुनर्भवं वा समञ्जसत्वा विरहय्यकाङ्क्षे। नाकपृष्ठं न च पारमेष्ठ्यं न सार्वभौमं न रसाधिपत्यं न योगसिद्धिरपुनर्भवं वा समञ्जसत्वा विरहय्यकाङ्क्षे। नाकपृष्ठं न च पारमेष्ठ्यं न सार्वभौमं न रसाधिपत्यं न योगसिद्धिरपुनर्भवं वा समञ्जसत्वा Mataji's. Okay. न नाकपृष्ठं न च पारमेष्ठ्यं न सार्वभौमं न रसाधिपत्यम् न योगसिद्धिरपुनर्भवं वा समञ्जसत्वा विरहय्यकाङ्क्षे न नाकपृष्ठं न च पारमेष्ठ्यं न सार्वभौमं न रसाधिपत्यम् न योगसिद्धिरपुनर्भवं वा समञ्जसत्वा विरहय्यकाङ्क्षे. Word to word meaning. Na, not. Nakaprishtam, the heavenly planets or Dhruvaloka. Na, nor. Cha, also. Parameshtyam, the planet on which Lord Brahma resides. Na, nor. Sarvabhaumam, sovereignty of the whole earthly planetary system. Na, nor. Rasadhipatyam, sovereignty of the lower planetary systems. Na, nor. Yoga Siddhi, 8 kinds of mystic yogic power. That is anima, lagima, mahima, etc. Apunaha bhavam, liberation from rebirth in a material body. Va, or samanjasa, a source of all opportunities. Va, you. Virahaya, being separated from. Kangshe, I desire. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. O my Lord, source of all opportunities, I do not desire to enjoy in Dhruvaloka, the heavenly planets, or the planet where Lord Brahma resides. Nor do I want to be the supreme ruler of all the earthly planets or the lower planetary systems. I do not desire to be master of the powers of mystic yoga, nor do I want liberation if I have to give up your lotus feet. Please repeat, O my Lord, source of all opportunities, I do not desire to enjoy in Dhruvaloka, the heavenly planets, or the planet where Lord Brahma resides. Nor do I want to be the supreme ruler of all the earthly planets or the lower planetary systems. I do not desire to be master of the powers of mystic yoga. Nor do I want liberation if I have to give up your lotus feet. Purport. A pure devotee never desires to gain material opportunities by rendering transcendental loving service to the Lord. A pure devotee desires only to engage in the loving service to the Lord in the constant association of the Lord and his eternal associates. As stated in the previous verse, Dasanudaso Bhavitasmi, as confirmed by Narottam Das Thakur. Tader Charane Sevi Bhakta Sanevas Janame Janame Hoy He Avilash. To serve the Lord and the servants of his servants in the association of devotees is the only objective of a pure, unalloyed devotee. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमा ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे करोति वाचारं पादं वन्दे श्रीगुरुनाथानन्दं श्री हरे कृष्ण. So I seek the blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas here. Although there is some respite for me, we don't uh, we don't have scholarly devotees here, or else generally uh, it is very difficult to face devotees because of their purity. So I think I may have some freedom to speak, but yes, of course, you all have the uh, right to correct me in the end. So, seeking the blessings of all you Vaishnavas. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he says in the uh, Shatkriya, sorry, not Shatkriya, Sarartha Darshini, that is his commentary. Before writing the commentary, he prays. He says, uh, मम रत्न वणिग्भावं रत्नान् अपरिचिन्वत हसन्तु सन्तु झीरेमि न स्वस्वान्तो विनोदकृत्. So he says, Mama Ratna Vanik Bhavam. I have the understanding that I am a merchant of, Ratna, all the precious gems. Ratna na parichinvata. But the problem is, I don't have the knowledge. Parichita. I'm not acquainted with the actual knowledge of the gems, but I call myself as the merchant of the gems. Hasantu santu jiremi naspasvantu vinodakrit. So he is referring to Srimad Bhagavatam as Ratna Bhandar and calling himself as the merchant of the gems. And he says, all the Vaishnavas, Hasantu santu jiremi, they may laugh at me, but at least, Nasvasvantu vinodakrit, but at least I will be happy that they have been entertained. So that way I would consider it as a Vaishnava Seva. So that way, of course, that was out of humility of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who says that. But in my case, it is a reality. So we may consider ourselves as speakers on Bhagavatam, but in reality, we have not really touched, the depth, the abyss of Srimad Bhagavatam, where the real jewels are. So that is why it has to be understood in the association of devotees. So if there are any faults, you can please, if you are hesitating to criticize, you can always laugh it off and forgive me. So in this chapter, we see Vritrasura's transcendental qualities. He is explaining how, in the first verse, he says, Aham harer tava padaika moolam dasanudaso bhavitasme bhuya. Manasmaret ashu pater gunamste grinitava karma karotu kaya. So Vritrasura is experiencing those transcendental emotions. He has felt that separation. So he's saying that dasanudaso bhavitasmi bhuya. Make me a servant of the Vaishnavas. Hmm? Only then manasmaret ashupater gunamste granitava karma karotu kaya. So by body, mind, words, when we want to engage in the service of the Supreme Lord, it is possible only when it is done in the association of devotees. So that is why he is hankering, he is seeking to be Dasanudas. Like Mahaprabhu says, Naham Vipro, Nachanarapatir Napi Vaishona Shudro. Gopi Bhartuhu Padakamalyor Dasanudas. That way, in that mood, uh, Vritrasura is praying to be servant of the servant. So he knows the formula that one can render devotional service only in the association of devotees. And then in this verse, we see Nanaka Prishtham Nacha Parameshtham Na Sarvabhaumam Na Rasadhipatyam Na Yoga Siddhir Apunar Bhavamva Samanjasatva Virahaya Kangshe. So he says, I do not desire Naka Prishtham, heavenly planets or even Dhruvaloka. Na Parameshtham, the position that of Brahma and Brahmaloka. Na Sarvabhaumam, sovereignty over the earthly plane, or na Rasadhipatyam, lower planetary systems. Na Yoga Siddhi, no liberation, apunar bhavamba, samanjasatva virahaya kangshe, in your separation. So, today's theme will be about Vaishnava Seva, or being a servant of the Supreme Lord. So, before I continue, I want to do this bhajan. So, you all can please repeat after me. It's a very nice song by Devaki Nandan Thakur. Play can use Kartal. This is a song by Devaki Nandan Thakur. In case we are not aware who Devaki Nandan Thakur is, he is Gopal Chapala. Gopal Chapala, who offended Srivas Thakur, and he was punished. When Mahaprabhu came in front of him, Mahaprabhu chastised him, saying that, this is only a trailer. Next 10 million births you will rot in hell for what you have done. So he was very depressed. But later, when Mahaprabhu takes sannyas and when he comes back and when he goes to the Skulyagram, so at that time, all the offenders, atheists, all these people, they come, they fall at the feet of Mahaprabhu because they are very repentant and they are lamenting. And Mahaprabhu, he forgives all these offenders and all the atheistic people, all the smarthas, all of them. So at that time, Mahaprabhu indicates to Gopal Chapal that, now you go seek forgiveness from Srivas Thakur. That formula of seeking forgiveness from Vaishnava was not known to Gopal Chapala. So that is when Mahaprabhu reveals the secret. Then he goes, he seeks forgiveness. That is how he is forgiven. And later he becomes a great Vaishnava. And he is the one who sang this song. So we will sing this. वृन्दावनवासी जत वैष्णवेरगण प्रथमे वन्दन करि सबार चरण. नीलाचलवासी जत महाप्रभुरगण भूमि ते पोड़िया वंदन सबार चरण नवद्वीपवासी जत महाप्रभुरभक्त सबार चरण वंदन भैया अनुरक्त महाप्रभुरभक्त जत गौड़ देशे स्थिति सबार चरण वंदन करिया प्रणति जे देशे वैसे गौरांगे रगण ऊर्ध्व बाहु करी वंदन सबार चरण হইয়াছে ন হইবে না প্রভুর যত দাস সবার চরণ বন্দন দান্তে করি ঘাস ब्रह्मांड तारिते शक्ति धरे जने जने ए वेद पुराणे गुण गाय जीवा शूने महाप्रभुरगण सब पतित पावन ताई लोभे मुई पापी लैनु शरण वंदना करिते मुई कत शक्ति धरी तमो बुद्धि दोषे मुई दंभ मात्र करी तथापि मुखेर भाग्य मनेर उल्लास दोष क्षमी मोधा में कर निज दास सर्ववांछा सिद्धि होय यम बद्ध छूटे जगते दुर्लभ हैया प्रेम धन लूटे अनेर वासना पूर्ण अचिराते होय देवकी नंदन दास ये लोभे कय Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we see very touching song by Devkinandan Thakur, where he's saying, first of all, I offer glorifications at the feet of all the Vaishnavas of Vrindavan. Then he's praising the associates of Mahaprabhu from Nilachal. Then he is praising and falling at the feet of the associates of Mahaprabhu at Navadvip. Then I offer my pranams at the feet of all the Gaura Desha. Then with upraised arms, I pray to the feet of all the Gaurangas Bhaktas in whichever country they may reside. Holding a straw between my teeth, I submit at the feet of the Vaishnavas of Mahaprabhu that were or will be in the future. I have heard their glorification in the Vedas and Puranas, which proclaim that each one of his devotees has the Shakti to deliver an entire universe, each devotee of Mahaprabhu. Hearing their glory, I have come with great eagerness to surrender to Mahaprabhu's bhaktas, who are all Patita Pavana, or sinners like me. Now he is revealing his identity out of humility. What power do I have to glorify them? But out of my ignorance and unagitating pride, I do so anyway, thinking myself so qualified. Even though I am dumb and unable to express their greatness, still my heart is joyful due to my great good fortune that the Vaishnavas have accepted me as their own, and Sri Gurudev has given me Harinam full of blissful pastimes. Forgive the faults of this fallen soul and make me your servant. The Vaishnavas award the perfection of all desires, including freedom from death and even that rarest treasure not found in this world, which is prema. So all of one's pure, heartfelt desires will be fulfilled without any delay. So Devakinandan Thakur, intensely eager for this, glorifies and prays to the Vaishnavas. So that is his composition for the association of the Vaishnavas, the eagerness and the hankering of Devkinandan Thakur that we see here. So we see the same eagerness in Vritrasura here, who is saying that Samanjasatva Virahaya Kangshe. Samanjasa is, you can give anything. You can give all material desires, you can fulfill all material spiritual desires. You are an ocean of reservoir of all blessings. But Virahaya Kangshe. So in your Viraha, I have no Akanksha for all these desires of Parameshtyam, Sarvabhaumam, Rasadhipatyam, Yoga Siddhi. So all of this. So he is eager to become the servant of the servant, Dasanudas, as in the previous verse, as King Kulashekar also says in Mukundamala Stotra, Mad Janmana Phalamidam Madhukaita Bare, Mad Prarthaniya Mad Anugraha Esha Eva. The goal, the success of my life, Mad Janmana Phalamidam, and Tvadbhritya Bhritya Paricharaka Bhritya Bhritya Bhritasya Bhritya Timam Smaralokanat. 7 times he goes down, servant of the 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 Supreme Lord. So, in that mood, uh, Vritrasura also is expressing that kind of intense feeling of separation. And this separation, the feeling of intense separation from the Lord, is experienced by all devotees. We see this throughout Bhagavatam. Parikshit Maharaj also, he prays that, if when I am bitten by the serpent, then I may have to come back. So no devotee thinks that now I am going back to the Lord. He says, Punascha bhuyat bhagavatyanante Ratim prasangatadashrayeshu mahatsuyamyam upayami srishtim maitriyasta sarvatra namo dvijebhya. So, punascha bhuyat, if I have to come back again, I request my Lord that I have these three benedictions. He is requesting. He says, Rati, Bhagavat Yanante Rati, love or attachment or opportunity to render devotional service to Supreme Lord. Ratim prasangat tadashrayeshu. Prasanga is nothing but association of tadashrayeshu, those who have taken your shelter. So, association of devotees. There is no bhakti without association of devotees. It is unheard of. If somebody is saying that, then he is actually not practicing bhakti. So, tadashrayeshu, prasanga tadashrayeshu. Then mahatsu yamyam upayami srishtim maitryastu sarvatra namo dvijebhya. So, and the third benediction that he asks is that maitryastu sarvatra namo dvijebhya. Let me have friendly dealings with all the jivas, with no envy in the heart, accepting everyone as part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and as good as non different from the Supreme Lord, because they are part and parcel of the Lord. So, in that mood, uh, Parikshit Maharaj is saying that he needs association. We also see Kunti Maharani saying, Bhavato darshanam yat syad apunar bhava darshanam. She's eager because she does not want to be separated from the Lord. Or Bhumi Devi also, she is praying. In the first canto, it comes, after the conversation between Dharma and Bhumi. She says, Kwaham sahet viraham purushottamasya. Who can tolerate the separation from you? I cannot tolerate it. Others may, but I cannot tolerate. So, like that, we feel throughout Srimad Bhagavatam, we see this emotion. When we read between the lines, we can read, because sometimes we are lost in reading the standard Sanskrit translation purport without getting into the mood of in what mood that devotee has spoken that verse. So with so much of feeling, they are saying that, like Rukmini Devi says that Jahyan Ashun Vritrasura Shata Janma Bhisyat. Let, if I am not able to attain your lotus feet, let me give up, my life hundreds and hundreds of times, thinking myself as disqualified. Not out of frustration that, you didn't come to take me, but out of my disqualification, let me give up my life hundreds of times, because she is unable to tolerate the separation from the Supreme Lord. So, in the same mood, we see here Vritrasura is saying that Samanjasatva Virahaya Kankshi. What is the use of this Parameshtyam, Sarvabhaumam, and Rasadipatyam when you yourself are not there? So, the devotees do not desire anything where there is no Lord. So, without the presence of the Lord, there is no point in having opulence, there is no point in having positions in the material world or even in the spiritual world. Like the third canto, where you know Lord Kapila says, Salokya sarshti samipya sarupya ekatvam apyuta diyamanam na grananti vinamat sevanam jana. So, even if the devotees are offered Salokya sarshti samipya sarupya, all the Vaikuntha liberations, they are not eager to accept it. Vinamat sevanam jana. Without the service of the Lord, or without the association of the Lord or his devotees, they are not eager. They do not want to accept even the spiritual world, even the Vaikuntha planet. Yes, it sounds very lofty, very tall, but we should know, that is the mood of all these great souls, all these pure devotees. What to speak of, mm, association? Even they are hankering for even, a moment's association. Sadhu Sangha Sarva Shastra Kohe, Lavamatra Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhi Hoy. So even a moment's association also can deliver the jivas from this material world. We have so many examples in Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, this very verse is repeated multiple times, which says, Tulyama lavenapi na swargam na punarbhavam. Even a lava matra, even a moment's association of pure devotees can deliver the jiva from this world. So it is in comparison to na swargam na punarbhavam. To swarga, to the heavenly enjoyment, or even for liberation, it cannot be compared. It is very valuable, it is very precious. So we have unlimited examples in Bhagavatam, like we see Parikshit Maharaj. He had just a little association with Shukdev Goswami. Then we have third canto. I don't know if there is anybody. Then fourth canto, we see Dhruva had a little association of Narada. That was the cause of his liberation. Then we have Prachina Barhi. Prachina Barhi had little association of Narada. And also his sons, Prachetas, they had the association of Lord Shiva. Yeah. Just for a moment. And that was the cause of their liberation. Then fifth canto, any devotee who had little association of a great soul. Rahugana, yes. Rahugana had a little association. Then Ajamil also. Ajamil in the sixth canto, he had little association of the Vishnu Dutas. Actually, the sixth canto has several devotees, like, of course, no, Vritrasura didn't. We also have Chitraketu Maharaj, who had association of Narada. Because of the association of Narada and Parvat Muni, he was liberated. And later on, Daksha's sons, Haryashvas and Shavalashvas, they had very little association of Narada. They didn't even have normal conversation. The conversation was in question and answers. He asked riddles, puzzles, and they got the message. Okay, all right, thank you. We are no longer going to produce any population, and they got liberated. So that way, the whole Bhagavatam, I'm sure, we will find hundreds and thousands of examples of how, devotees by little association, they were liberated. We see this even in the life of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada's life also, so many devotees, even with little association, they got the opportunity of this devotional service. Uh, I'm sure we have heard about this pastime of Venezuelan Airlines. One hostess, she just picked from the plate of Srila Prabhupada directly. The others were trying to stop, but Prabhupada stopped them. Said it's okay. And later on, when devotees were traveling, when they were doing Sankirtan, they found in a house, one lady with tilak and, reading Prabhupada's books. They were shocked. Nobody knows her, who preached to her. Then she narrated her story. So that came as a surprise. Then everybody understood. No philosophy, no preaching, nothing. It was just one morsel of prasadam from the plate of Srila Prabhupada. Because later on, she tried doing some research to find out who that person is. And that's how she became a devotee. Simply by reading books, she became a devotee. And then many examples are there. Like Prabhupada goes to Russia, just I think 1 week or 3 days, something, in a hotel. He preaches to this Russian boy, Anatoly, and then he becomes a devotee. From him, the whole movement in Russia starts. And I heard that in Fiji Island, in Fiji Islands, in the airport, Srila Prabhupada preached to one Indian businessman for just 2 hours. because he was on a transit to another place. So he happened to see, so many Indians are there here. Just for speaking for 2 hours, the whole Hare Krishna movement started in Fiji Island because of spending 2 hours on the airport. So I'm sure there are like that, many examples. How the most famous example is Yadubar Prabhu, who came to make a documentary on the life of the Hare Krishnas and Srila Prabhupada, and he became a devotee. So like that, even a moment's association, one becomes a pure devotee. So that is why Bhagavatam says, Kirat Hunandra Pulinda Pulkasha Abhira Shumbha Yavana Khasade Yannecha Papa Idapashraya Ashraya Shuddhyanti Tasme Prabha Vishnavena. Even a moment's association for any type of people, Kirat Hunandra Pulinda Pulkasha, they are all completely outside the Vedic culture. They are completely out of uh, India. They are considered outside Varnashrama, but they also have the opportunity to become pure devotees in the association of pure devotees. That is the potency of association of a devotee. That is for a moment. Now, what to speak of, being in constant touch and rendering devotional service. So that is much, much more glorious. So, from Vaishnava Seva perspective, I wanted to share some pastimes from the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya about the prominence of Vaishnava Seva, which is very much we hear Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taken two things from each of these sampradayas and inculcated it in the Gaudiya Parampara. So from the Madhva Sampradaya, he took deity worship and Mayavad Khandana. And then from Kumara Sampradaya, from Rudra Sampradaya, he took complete surrender to Krishna and Raga Marga Bhakti. From Kumara Sampradaya, he took um, surrender to Radharani, taking shelter of Radharani, and also Gopi Bhav, like that. From the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, Mahaprabhu took two things. One is pure devotional service, free of any tinge of karma, jnana, all of that. And the other thing is Vaishnava Seva, because Vaishnava Seva is very prominent and prevalent in Sri Vaishnava culture. So you have all heard about the story of Kanchipurna, but no matter how 100 times we hear it, it is always ever fresh and new. So I would like to narrate the importance of Vaishnava Seva here. So Kanchipurna was from non-Brahman background. So he was a garland vendor. He would come and hand over garlands to the Brahmins at the Varadaraj temple. And at one point of time, it is told that the Brahmins could hear the Lord, or probably the Lord spoke in the dream. I don't know, that is not clear. But the Lord wanted Kanchipurna. He was known as Tirukachinambi. They wanted him to, the Lord wanted him to offer the garland to him directly, not through the Brahmanas. Probably the Lord knew his devotion. And then slowly he started stepping inside the Garbhagudi. And then later the Lord wanted him to fan also. So the Lord wanted him to do the Chamara Seva also. This was also, it is said that, the deity spoke to the Brahmana saying that, I want, Tirukachinambi to fan. And then at one point of time, the Lord wanted him to offer sweet rice also. So he offered. Then the Brahmanas were a little disappointed. Oh my God, this person is, he's, moving ahead in the ladder. And he offered it, and after that, the bowl was empty. Then they got an opportunity. You fellow, you rascal, you have eaten it and you're telling the Lord has eaten. So they wanted to defame him. Then the Lord came in the dream of one of the Brahmana and he strictly told him, as a punishment to all of you, make me 1,000 barrels of sweet rice and offer it to me. And it should be offered through Tirukachinambi. So they had to make 1,000 barrels of sweet rice and they all kept it. And Tirukachinambi was offering and the door was closed. And then when the door opened, all the barrels were empty. Then the Brahmanas realized, we are sorry, how can he eat all 1,000 barrels? So the Lord only took. So they were very, what do you call, guilty. And they said, all right, let him be your personal servant. And that is how he became very close to the Lord. And it is said daily he would converse with the Supreme Lord. Somebody had asked him, will I go to Vaikunta? Please check with the Lord. He checked with the Lord, and the Lord said, yes, he will go. Then another day, he himself had a doubt. He said, will I, because I am serving you personally, my Lord, will I also get? He said, no, you have no chance. So that became a very disappointing. See how, we have heard this 100 times, but every time we hear, it is so much, carrying so much of eagerness to hear. So then he asks, oh, what is the reason? He says, you have not done any Vaishnava Seva. Then he realizes, he says, all right, my Lord, can you please hold this chamara? He gave it to the Lord. And then he said, I'm leaving. And he left. He went to another great Vaishnava, that is Mahapurna. Mahapurna is also known as Periyanambi. So he went to Mahapurna and he was taking care of the Goshala in his house. He went as a cowherd and for 6 months he served Mahapurna. And at one point of time, it was raining very heavily in the evening and it was too late. Mahapurna had forgotten that, oh, I didn't give prasadam to this person because he was living outside the house in a cottage near the Goshala. So in the rain, he was going and he wanted to deliver the prasadam. It was too late in the night. Probably he thought maybe he's sleeping. Let me check. And he tried to peep. And he saw that, he had changed his dress. He was looking very effulgent in that lamp. And he was writing something. He was composing or he was singing something about the glory of the Lord. Then Mahapurna realized, because only an advanced devotee can identify another advanced devotee. Then Mahapurna felt very bad that, I have a great soul here. He asked him, who are you? You looks like you are, hiding yourself. You are not revealing yourself. Then, Kanchipurna, he reveals that, I had taken the permission of Varadaraj because I had to serve a Vaishnava like you. So they felt guilty of each other. And Mahapurna said, no, you can stop your service here. You have done sufficient service. And then he goes back uh, and then he says, my Lord, please tell me, have I sufficiently rendered service now? Then the Lord says, yes, you have done. So he becomes a little pleased. So very famous pastime, how without Vaishnava Seva, one can never attain the mercy of the Lord. Lord Krishna also says, ये में जना ये में भक्त जना पार्थ न में भक्ताश्च ते जना मत भक्ता नाम ते भक्ता ते में भक्त तमामता. Those who consider themselves as my devotee and they are not my devotees. Those who say that I am a devotee of the Supreme Lord, they are indeed my devotee. And there is the other pastime of another lady called as Tumbiyur Kondi. Her name is Tumbiyur Kondi. She is a milkmaid. She was delivering what do you call, milk, curd to the ashram of Ramanujacharya. And in those days, it was not like, you pay money and you take milk. It was not so. Milk was not sold, food was not sold, prasadam was not sold. But out of love, she saw that, they are all saintly people. She was delivering milk regularly. And then at one point of time, Ramanujacharya was planning to go to Tirupati. So she will ask him, Swami, where you are planning to go? Oh, don't you know? I'm going to Tirupati to see Lord Balaji Venkatramana. She says, before you leave, I need remuneration for all the milk that I delivered. So Ramanujacharya smiles because there was no dealing of money in those days. So he says, okay, ask me, what do you want? She says that, give me a recommendation letter. She actually, a lot of conversation happens. I'm just cutting short the story. He says, what is the Lord capable of? He is capable of delivering anybody at the recommendation of anyone. So then she asks him, give me a recommendation letter as my remuneration, saying that I know this lady, Tumbiur Kondi, and then that she, please allow her, if you think, she is qualified, please allow her to be taken back to Vaikunta. And she takes that with the signature of Ramanujacharya. And it is said that she was climbing from Tirupati to Tirumala. Those days there were no buses. And half the way when she climbed, Balaji, 400 form of Lord Vishnu, he comes right in front of her. He says, oh lady, where are you going? She says, I have a recommendation letter to see Balaji. He says, it is me only, just show. And he looks at it and he says, all right, no problem. And then the Vaikunta Vimana comes and then she is taken. So she is not even seen the darshan of the Lord. Half the way she is taken. That shows the eagerness of the Lord to take a devotee who is recommended by another pure devotee. The Lord is more eager than us to take us back. So we see that example here in this pastime. That is why it is told, Tasmad Vishnu Prasadaya Vaishnavanam Paritoshayet Prasado Sumukhos Vishnus Tenaiva Syat Na Samshayaha. So, Tasmad Vishnu Prasadaya. If anyone wants the mercy of Lord Vishnu, Vaishnavanam Paritoshayet. Satisfy a Vaishnava. Why? Because Prasado Sumukhos Vishnus. The Lord is very eager to give prasad, but there are no takers. He is very eager to give. Prasado Sumukhos Vishnus Tenaiva Syat Na Samshaya. There is no doubt he is eager to give. But there is a process to receive it. But he is equally merciful to everybody. So it has to go through the right process. And it said that Tasmat um, Tasmat Sarva Prayatnena Vaishnavanam Pujyate Sada Sarvam Tarati Dukkhogham Mahabhagavatarchanat. Tasmat Sarva Prayatnena. With all endeavors, one has to endeavor to please a Vaishnava. Vaishnavanam Pujyate Sada. Prasado Sarvam Tarati Dukkhogham Mahabhagavatarchanat. So all material miseries are simply vanquished and one attains the lotus feet of Krishna simply by endeavoring very hard, sarva prayatnena, by trying to please a Vaishnava. But those who render devotional service but not rendering service to a pure devotee or to any other Vaishnava also, he has lesser chances. Who considers himself better than other Vaishnavas, he has lesser chances. He misses out on this opportunity. अर्चयत्वात् गोविंद तदीयानां न अर्चयेतु न स भागवतो ज्ञेयो केवलम दाम्भिकं स्मृतम. Somebody is worshipping Govinda, tadiyanam na archayetu yaha, but he doesn't worship his devotees, then nasa bhagavato gneya, he cannot be considered as a devotee only. Kevalam dambikam smritam. He is just a puffed up person filled with pride. So that is why it is said that one should worship the devotees also. So we should know that devotees are very dear to the Supreme Lord. So one should be respectful to all devotees. It is said that um, what is it? Siddhir bhavati vaneti samshaya achyuta sevinam nihi samshayastu tad bhakta paricharya ratatmanam. So there is doubt in attaining perfection in spiritual life. Siddhir bhavati vaneti. There is samshaya in those who are serving achyuta. But nihi samshayastu tad bhakta paricharya ratatmanam. But there is no doubt for those who are serving his devotees. Anybody who is serving the devotees of the Supreme Lord, even if they are not focused on bhakti, there is guaranteed success in spiritual life. There is no doubt about it. We have this example also in Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. There's this devotee called as Vaduga Nambi. Anybody has heard Vaduga Nambi? Okay. So there's this devotee Vaduga Nambi who is assistant of Ramanujacharya, and at one point of time there was this around the temple of Sri Rangam, this um, procession of the Lord, Nam Perumal, is taken in procession. And when he comes to one corner of the temple, there is where that is where Ramanujacharya also was living, and some of his disciples. So everybody came running out, to take darshan of the Lord. Ramanujacharya was there, all his disciples were there, but one person didn't come out. That was Vaduga Nambi. He's also known as Andhra Purna. That's his name. So he was boiling milk inside. So everybody called him. He didn't come. Then finally Ramanujacharya called him. You can do your work later. You just come and take darshan of the Lord. He said, I will not come. Directly to the spiritual master. You can imagine. Then Ramanujacharya went inside later, asked him, what was your problem? Why couldn't you come? So he said, Swami, I was boiling milk for you. For me, seeing the Lord is not so important as service to you. For me, I know only service to my spiritual master. So, devotional service, who the Lord is, I don't know. I know only you. But I know one thing, through you, I can get Lord and his devotional service. So, for me, this is important. Then Ramanujacharya smiled. He understood, his Guru Nishtha was so strong that he was, so eager to serve Ramanujacharya that he, you know, didn't focus on, even taking the darshan of the Lord. That is the importance of serving a Guru. Later on, it is said that once when Ramanujacharya was traveling to another place, they were, doing the packing, not like the suitcase packing, but they have this jhola. In that, he asked him to, in a separate package, he asked him to keep his two padaraksha. So Vaduganambi kept the footwear of Ramanujacharya in another pack, and along with that, he kept the deities of the Lord's deities. And when they reached the destination, when Ramanujacharya opened it, he became furious. What is this? He screamed at him. Then he said, for me, my Lord, I don't know what this deity is, but for me, your lotus, what do you call the Padaraksha is my deity. So for me, I don't see any difference. So I've kept it here. And then, Ramanujacharya corrected him. You shouldn't do that. The Lord is Lord. So then, although he corrected him, but he understood his Guru Nishtha, how eager he was, and how he knew that only through the, but the service to the spiritual master, one can attain perfection. So this we see in the case of Vadaganambi. There are many such examples. Many pastimes are there. Another couple of pastimes I will just share. There was one deaf and dumb person who was coming and serving, the ashram of Ramanujacharya and his disciples. He could not hear, he could not speak, but he knew they are all saintly people. They are chanting the names of Lord, they are reading the scriptures, they are engaged in the worship of the Supreme Lord. So he was, at one point of time, he was crying and crying and crying, unconsolable. And then Ramanujacharya took him. He said, what is wrong? Why are you crying? He says, mhm. So, and then he shows like this, all of you. So he was indicating that, how unfortunate I am. You all are so glorious that you are able to practice bhakti, you are able to chant, recite, you are able to hear the glories of the Lord. I am most unfortunate. And then Ramanujacharya takes him into a room, closed room, and he places his lotus feet on his head and blesses him and saying that, just by the very dint of your lamentation and repentance, you will be purified of all your material contamination and you will attain the lotus feet of Krishna. So that way he blesses him. And this was seen by Kuresh Kuratalwar from, he peeps through the whole of the room and he sees that how Ramanujacharya is blessing this person simply by taking shelter of Ramanujacharya. This person who was a deaf and dumb. We hear, we have to perform Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam. He didn't have any opportunity, but he was liberated just by the dint of the potency of the spiritual master. And the last one is, yeah, there was one disciple of Ramanujacharya who didn't wanted to chant Om Namo Narayanaya. He said, I don't know who the Lord is. I know only you. So I will chant Srimate Ramanuja, Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha, something like that they have. So, as a special concession only for that devotee, Ramanujacharya allowed it for him, saying that, all right, if you do not want to chant the uh, holy name of the Lord, you can chant this mantra. So that way, simply by chanting the pranam mantra of Ramanujacharya, he was delivered. So that shows the um, potency of being a servant of the Supreme Lord. So that way, there are so many examples like that. Of course, we have. I'm not saying that we have examples only in Sri Parampara, but in a Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara also we have several hundreds of examples. The few prominent examples are like Lochandas Thakur. Sorry, not even if our parents or spiritual master, if somebody is materialistic, he will check nursing home where somebody can take care of my parents. So when we were small babies, They didn't employ nurse, at least as far as I know. Most of us wouldn't have. So they took care of us. They cleaned our stool and urine. So it becomes a duty of the child or the disciple, to take care of the spiritual master. So we see that example. Many examples are there. Devaki Nandan, not sorry, Devanand Pandit uh, serving Vakreshwar Pandit, and Mahaprabhu becomes very happy. So like that, there are unlimited. Srila Prabhupada did not do physical Vapu Seva. Vaishnava Seva can be done both as Vapu Seva and Vani Seva. So most of the disciples may not have opportunity for Vapu Seva, but we definitely have opportunity for Vani Seva. So making the instructions of the spiritual master as a life and soul, the disciple should make the instructions of the spiritual master as his life and soul. Then that can be considered as Vaishnava Seva. So that importance of serving a Vaishnava is there. And we should not take the association of devotees for granted. It is very precious. It is not easily obtained. It is very, very difficult. It cannot be obtained so easily. Uh, it is said that Durlabho Manusho Deho Dehinam Kshanabhangura Tatrapi Durlabham Anye Vaikuntha Priyadarshan. To attain this human body itself is very rare. We don't so easily get it. But Tatrapi Durlabham Anye Vaikuntha Priyadarshan. To get the association of devotees is even more difficult. It is not easily obtained. It is said, Satsanga Prapyate Pumbhir Sukritair Purva Sanchitae. Then Bhaktistu Bhagavat Bhakta Sangena Parichayate. So to get satsanga, to get association of devotees is very rare, and to attain that one has to accumulate sukriti. And sukriti, there is no guarantee one can attain in one human life. Probably the jiva may have to take several human lives to attain some sukriti, some agyata sukriti or bhaktonmukha sukriti. Not the pious sukriti, but not punya sukriti, but bhaktonmukha sukriti to attain association of devotees. So bhaktistu bhagavat bhakta sangena parijayate. Satsanga prapyate bhumbir sukritair purva sanchite. So after attainment of satsanga, only then one is able to practice bhakti in the association of devotees. There is no such thing called as he is a devotee, he is a bhakta, he practices bhakti alone. That yogi who stays alone in the forest, he is a devotee. There is no such thing. Even I was hearing this Ramayana. In the Ramayana also, when Lord Ram is traveling through the Dandakaranya, when he was meeting these rishis and munis, they were staying in groups. They were not individually staying. There were so many camps where there were, several groups of rishis. They had their own ashram, but they were all living in the surrounding area in groups, except for a few, like some great souls like Agastya Rishi was living a little farther, few kilometers away. But generally, all the rishis also in the forest, they were living in association. So there's no such thing as being individual. Somebody who is meditating for a long time, probably he may be alone. Like Bharat Maharaj, he was alone for some time in the forest, like that. So association is definitely important. So this human body itself is very rare. It is said, uh, in the Bhagavatam, in this chapter of the demigods offering prayers in this Jambudvipa, the demigods are glorifying the birth, the human birth, and at the same time, they are also criticizing their heavenly birth. They are saying that, they say, न यद्वैकुंठ कथा सुदापगा न यत् न साधवो भागवतस्तदाश्रय न यत्र यज्ञमखा न यत्र यज्ञेश मखा महोत्सवात् सुरेश लोकोऽपि न वै स सेव्यताम् न यत्र वैकुंठ कथा सुदापगा, where there is no glorification of Lord Vaikuntha, then na yatra sadhava bhagavatastadashraya, where there is no association of sadhus, where there is no association of devotees. Then third, nayatra yaggesha makha mahotsava. Yaggesha is Lord Vishnu, Yagyo vai Vishnu. Makha is nothing but sacrifice, where there are no sacrifices for Lord Vishnu. Like Prabhupada translates it as Sankirtana Yagya. But yeah, it also includes all the other yagyas to please the Supreme Lord in the other yugas. So nayatra yaggesha makha mahotsava. Suresh lokopi navaisa sevyatam. We do not desire to go to such places. Actually, they are staying there only. But they are saying, we don't want to be in such places where there is no glorification of the Lord, there is no association of devotees, where there is no festivals related to the Supreme Lord, Mahotsava. So, but they are saying we have some other festival. So they describe that also. They say that Kim dushkarairna kratubhistapovritairdanaadhibirva dyujayena falguna nayatra narayana pada pankaja smritir pramushtha atishendriyotsavat. Kim dushkarair, very difficult. Dushkarair means very, very difficult austerities. Kim dushkarair kratubi is nothing but all the performances of sacrifice. Kim dushkarair na kratubis tapa vrata danadhibi, dana, etc., all of that. By performing all this, dushkarair, difficult things, what are we getting? Dyujayena falguna. Falgu means insignificant. Insignificant Dyujayena, that is heavenly planets. Dyo or Dyujayena is nothing but heavenly planets. They are saying we are doing the most difficult austerities of Kratubi, Tapa, Dana, Vrata, all of that to attain heavenly planets, the most insignificant. Intelligent person, what should we do? You should do less austerities and attain the topmost. But the demigods themselves are saying we are doing the most difficult austerities to attain the most insignificant. Yujayena Falguna. Falgu means insignificant. And then they say the reason also why it is insignificant. Nayatra Narayana Pada Pankaja Smriti. There is no hope or chance of remembering the Supreme Lord in these places. Why? Smritir Pramushtha Atishendri Utsavat. Because there is Indriya Utsava. They also have festival. That festival is Indriya Utsava. Not just Indriya Utsava, but it is Atishendri Utsava. Excessive sense gratification festival. So it becomes difficult when there is happiness, excessive or excessive suffering. Then it is not possible to render bhakti or association, all of that. In the lower planetary systems also, at least in the Bila Swarga, there is excessive happiness because of material sense enjoyment. In the upper planetary systems also, there is excessive sense enjoyment. Even in the Bhauma Swarga, which is in the Bhumandala, all the 7, concentric islands, Kushak, Krauncha Dvipa, Shaka Dvip, Shalmali Dvip, Kushat. All these places are considered as Bhauma Swarga. There also there is excessive happiness because of sense enjoyment. The only place where there is a balance of suffering and happiness is Bharatavarsha. So they are glorifying, they are glorifying how Bharatvarsha is so special. They say that Kalpayusham Sthana Jayat Punarbhavat. Kshanayusham Bharata Bhujayo Varam. Kshanena Martyena Kritam Manasvinaha Sanyasa Samyanti Parampadam Hare. So kalpayusham, someone may have an ayush of an entire kalpa of Brahma, or maybe living in the Brahmaloka or the upper planetary systems. Sthana jayat, they may have, become the leader of that place, but punarbhavat, he may have to come back again. But kshanayusham bharat bhujayo varam, even a moment, just a small moment, fraction of a moment in the entire time, kshanayusham bharat bhujayo varam, it is much, much greater varam, it is much, much better birth to be born as a human being in this Bharat Varsha. And they say, Kshanena Martyena Kritam Manasvinaha. That intelligent person with this insignificant time and an insignificant body, Kshanabhangura body, if he renders bhakti, then he is out of this world. So he gets Parampadam. So that way, they glorify the importance of the human body. And they go on to tell, how um, uh, they glorify. They say, um, अहो अमीशम किमकारी शोभनम prasanna esham sviduta swayam harim. They are saying, aho amisham kimakari shobhanam. These human beings, what have they done? What pious activities have they done? Prasanna esham sviduta swayam harim. The Supreme Lord himself is so pleased with them. Why? Because they have attained the human form. Yairjanmalabdham, Yairjanmalabdham, Nrishu Bharatajire. These people have attained the birth of Nara, that is human beings, in this Bharata Varsha. And we are only, it is a dream for us. It is only a dream come true for us. But these fellows have already attained. What have they done? What piety have they done? How is that, the Lord has given them such mercy? So they are, expressing their frustration, and at the same time, they are indirectly glorifying the human body, human birth in the Bharatvarsh. That's a very beautiful section. You all can refer to 5th canto, 19th chapter, 21 to 27 verses. 21 to 27. Excellent glorification. And they say that Praptan Rajatim Tvihayecha, Praptan Rajatim Tvihayecha Jantava, after after obtaining this human body, if somebody is not endeavoring to liberate himself, he is such a fool. He is like bhuyo vanauka ivayanti bandhanam. He is just like a forest animal who is allowed, who is set free. Bharatavarsha is that place where the jiva, the jantu, is set free by the hunter. And who is that hunter? That hunter is Maya. So the influence of Maya is less on those who are in Bharatvarsha. So they are telling, Navai yateran apunar bhavayate. If they do not endeavor to, for apunar bhava, not to come back, if they do not endeavor, then it is said that bhuyo vanauka eva bandhanam. So like a forest animal which was set free for some time, that foolish animal is again getting trapped in the hunter's net. So this is the greatest opportunity in the human life that one can have, where he can practice a devotional service. To get human body itself is rare, and to get association of devotees is even more rare. It is not easy. Even after getting human body, also several lifetimes we are struggling. Many lifetimes we are struggling because of sins, piety, offenses. Repeatedly, some of us may have been devotees for few lifetimes, but because of our offenses, we may be given opportunity again and again. We don't know. So it is a great struggle. So this is the greatest opportunity. Not everybody gets. The demigods are all, glorifying. They are saying, what have these people done? Why we have not got that opportunity? So in that human body, and to attain association of devotees is even more rare. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in Chaitanya Bhagavat, the rarity. He gives the flow chart of the rarity of the association of devotees. Amazing. He says, Brahmananam sahasrebhyo satrayaji vishishyate, satrayaji sahasrebhyo sarva vedanta paraga, sarva vedanta vitkotya Vishnu bhakto vishishyate, Vaishnavanam sahasrebhyo ekantino vishishyate. So among the Varnashrama dharma, very few people are pious or who are in Sattva they are Brahmanas. So Brahmananam sahasrebhyo satrayaji vishishyate. Among the Brahmanas, those who perform yagya, satrayaji, they are very rare, very few are there. Out of 1,000, maybe 2, 3, 5. But satrayaji sahasrebhyo sarva vedanta paraga. But among such satrayaji, those who know the essence of the Shastra, they are even more less. Then Sarva Vedanta with Kotya, they may have understood the conclusions of the Vedas, but they have been unable to surrender to Lord Krishna. So among such Vedanta Paragas, Sarva Vedanta with Kotya, Vishnu Bhakto Vishishyate, very few are actually devotees, Vaishnavas. Then Vaishnavanam Sahasrebhyo, among thousands and thousands of Vaishnavas, Ekantino Vishishyate. One or two are actually pure devotees, free from karma, jnana, all of that. Not everybody is completely, fully surrendered to Lord Vishnu. So that is a rarity of a devotee. And to attain such devotees, association is the perfection of life. So it is said that, as Vritrasura is saying, Dasanu dasanu das. Aham harer tava padaik moolam dasanudaso bhavitasmi bhuya. Manasmare dashupater gunam se grinita vak karma karoti kaya. So to become dasanudasa is the magic potion for our freedom from this material entanglement. And to become basanubas is the poison for our entanglement in this material world. So I would like to conclude here. Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If there are any questions, we can take. Narahari Prabhu, would you like to add something? You can ask. You can ask. A closer, you can. Why it is not considered Vaishnava Seva? And because it is directly Lord's Seva. Uh, okay. Maybe. Maybe the Lord wanted to glorify the importance of Vaishnava Seva, direct Vaishnava Seva. So, could be. I'm not sure. But yeah, it is not so, it doesn't look so clear Vaishnava Seva in that. Because he was directly coming, just handing it over. The service to Vaishnava means pleasing his desires. So whatever his instructions are, desires are. So maybe it is very bare minimum Vaishnava Seva. So the Lord wanted him to do, a proper, prominent Vaishnava Seva. Bhakti Sukriti is related to the Lord or his devotees. By visiting the temple, somebody goes to the temple, he is attaining Bhakti Sukriti. He is serving a Vaishnava. Unknowingly, somebody is serving a Vaishnava. That is Agyata Sukriti. Offering flowers, tulasi, visiting the temple, rendering service or offering prasad. These are all different types of services which may have accumulated over few lifetimes, and then that gives opportunity for bhakti and Vaishnava association. Yeah, correct. Okay, right question to the wrong person. So yes, we have been taking association of devotees, but probably not in the right spirit. At least I know there's no transformation in me. I have only added years in my Krishna consciousness, but not actual purification. So, taking association of sadhu is nothing but which transforms one's heart. Transforms one's heart, which brings the jiva closer to the Supreme Lord and the spiritual master, giving his life, soul, everything. So, there are various ways somebody is inspired. Somebody may have been sufficiently beaten by Maya in several lifetimes. They have gone through a lot of suffering, and the moment they got that opportunity of a pure devotee, they took complete shelter. Somebody who is really inspired by the by the hearing of the spiritual master. So it's a very difficult question, but from Bhagavatam we can understand. Some examples are there, like there's one Srila Prabhupada disciple called as Dhananjay Prabhu. Dhananjay Prabhu was in UK. Prabhupada was once visiting. He was not a devotee. Somebody brought him. He said, "Come, there's one Indian Swami coming. You come." And when Prabhupada was coming out, and everybody was jumping and crying also. And Dhananjay Prabhu also started crying. He said that, later on in the interview, he says that, "I don't know why I was crying. I was crying profusely. And I was seeing that person first time. No man cries for another man throughout the life also. You know, one doesn't cry for one's wife or husband also, right? So he was crying for another man, but he has not even seen him. But he said, one thing I felt I have some relationship with him. That is what he said. So probably something from the past. He had some connection from the past. So then he surrendered his life to the Hare Krishna movement. So there are devotees like that also who are coming from past. They are inspired. So Lavamatra Sadhu Sangha Sarvasiti. Prabhupada gives this example of one uh, 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 two girls pulling water from the well. Have you heard? There is one in the conversation. Prabhupada says one girl is pulling water from the well in a bucket, and she's pouring. Another girl comes because she was delaying water, and this girl scolds the other girl, saying that, you fool, why are you delaying so much? And one businessman was traveling. He was going through that path. He just heard that. He just heard, "You fool, Why are you delaying? And because he was already a devotee, he was wasting his time. Then he completely gave up everything and then he went to Vrindavan. That's it. He surrendered. Prabhupada gives this example, a real story, real life story. We see this even in Bilvamangal Thakur, right? He says, had you had this kind of attachment to Krishna, you would have got liberated. Immediately he thought that this is, my spiritual master speaking. Then he surrendered. And the other famous example I remember is um, Ghanshyam Baba in the book Journey Back Home. In that, in his childhood or teenage, he along with his parents they come to Vrindavan, and then he's from a royal family, and he falls in love with Vrindavan, and he tells his parents, you both go. I will come after 2 days. I want to, stay here. It's a very nice atmosphere, very peaceful, calm, beautiful atmosphere. And the parents said, all right. They left, and he never left. He stayed back there. He never went back. He was so much in love with Vrindavan that he never went. Just by simply the vision, the divine vision of Vrindavan, he was so much inspired. So, of course, there is probably, Lavamatra Sadhu. He may have seen all the sadhus, inspired by them. So, who gets inspired how? It's a very mystical thing. I have no answer, but I know, how different pastimes, how devotees get inspired. Some may be, dragging on and on, life after life after life, but we are not sufficiently inclined to surrender to Krishna, because surrender means to body, mind, words, instructions, wealth, etc., everything. So that needs inspiration, that needs a role model, that needs to, be sufficiently transformed. Yes, Prabhu. Right, right. But even if we are not capable physically or mentally, you know like say the youth are able to do very wonderful sadhana, but somebody who crosses beyond middle age, very difficult for him to say. It is a great austerity. So the Lord looks at the sincerity of the sadhaka, the sincere endeavor to practice. So one may be inspired, but one may not be able to physically render bhakti like the way he is inspired, but still he is sincerely endeavoring. So that is also a person who is qualified, that he is sufficiently inspired to render bhakti. That does not disqualify. So like that, devotees are inspired in various ways, but the Lord rejects only two people: those who are offenders and those who hypocrites. Hypocrites who are, you know खाने के अलग दिखाने के अलग दान. We may be showing that I'm a good devotee, I'm a nice devotee, because I will get recognized, but I may not be practicing at home. that article which I think some of the devotees I had shared earlier, that there is a sincere weak and there is a cheater. There are two types. Somebody sent, I don't remember, I think some devotee sent in a group. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakurs. So, cheater is a hypocrite. He may appear to show that he is sufficiently inspired. He may be practicing bhakti. He may show that he is practicing bhakti, but there could be ulterior motives in the heart. We love to come here in the association of devotees because here everybody glorifies, right? Nobody will say, you are bad, your service was bad. Nobody will tell. Even if it was bad, they will say, very good, very nice, nice class, Prabhu, even if it is bad. So, like that, we get glorification here. So, we are very eager to come. It is covered. But a real friend is one who is sharing feedback, who is correcting us. So, hypocrite is that person who is very eager to get name, fame, and he may be expressing himself as a nice devotee. But sincere sadhaka, he may be struggling. He may be struggling with ailments. You may not see him in Mangalarti, but he is wonderfully practicing bhakti at his home. Although, lamenting that, I am unable to take association so frequently. So he has the mercy. He is sufficiently inspired by, sadhu sangha. So like that, Krishna consciousness is very internal, cannot be seen externally, cannot be seen. Very difficult to externally gauge and tell, oh, this devotee is wonderful. But yes, as a general rule, we see all devotees as pure devotees. We don't say that, let me identify whether he's having fault or not. We don't do that. Yeah. The Lord knows more about our anarthas than us. Yeah. How they have reached mukti? Uh, no. Can we read the last line of the purport for Prabhu? What is the objective of a devotee? Yeah. So, to serve the Lord and the servants of his servants in the association of devotees is the only objective of a pure devotee, not mukti. Our goal should be bhakti and seva. Mukti will come automatically. That you don't have to worry. Mukti is a byproduct. Our focus should be on churning the curd. Our focus is not whether butter is coming or not. Because when you focus on churning, what happens? Butter will automatically come. Butter is a byproduct. Mukti is a byproduct. Vaikuntha Mukti is a byproduct. Focus should be on service to the Vaishnava. Yeah. Yeah. See, the ingredient needed in Vaishnava service is sincerity. Lakshmi Devi in Vaikuntha planet, that verse is there where it is said that, Sammarjayativa. She is trying to sweep jewel laden floor and walls which has no dust. She is so eager, it is said, for the sake of uh, the mercy of the Lord. Swam Prakash Prabhu, you know that verse? Okay. So Lakshmi Devi is saying that, you know, for the mercy of the Lord, I am eager to sweep the floor or the walls which has no dust. So even if there is no service, she is creating a service for herself. The same thing can be applied in case of pure devotees, where whatever possible, simple instructions like distribute books, preach, these can be followed, but it has to be practiced sincerely. There's one nice email I had received about disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Um, in that, one Mataji writes, she says that while uh, while passing away, husband or wife, I don't remember, but while passing away, she is able to speak, experience indications of message from the Lord, or indications that she is going back. It is said that throughout her life she did very very simple menial service. She was unknown, unsung hero, and uh, she was not in some big position like temple president or big preacher, counselor, or bhakti vriksha leader, circle servant, this that, nothing. Just one simple normal service she continued doing. She was practically unknown. Is practically unknown. So generally we underestimate our own services. We should not, because whatever little service we render to the spiritual master or to Lord Krishna, that can give us perfection. We should have not a single doubt in that. Another example also I have, recently I shared with some devotees. Raj Bihari Prabhu speaks. Raj Bihari Prabhu is a great source of inspiration, especially those who feel very depressed, very hopeless, very fallen. You should hear Braj Bihari Prabhu. He will uplift our consciousness. Of course, he adds a little here and there, some, but it really inspires us. So he was saying about one devotee. If somebody is heard, you may have heard it also. That there was one very elderly devotee of Lord. He was in his 90s. So he was, for some time, he was working. He was probably in the military or something. After that, he was retired in his 60s. And then he was traveling to Vrindavan. Every month, he would go to Vrindavan. But later, when he was aging, he was unable to go. So his son would take him. His son would take him in his car, and then he would visit Vrindavan very regularly every month. And he would maintain a diary. And in the diary, he would write, आज मैंने ये किया. He was living in Delhi. So आज मैंने ये किया, वो किया, and he would sing a bhajan. This bhajan I like. He'll write some bhajan or some simple insignificant realizations. And then in between he will also write that today I had constipation problem. Today I took isabgol. This that everything. It was not just spiritual. It was everything about his daily activity. Everything he wrote in his diary. At one point of time, he wrote, on such and such date, 14th June, Thakurji told me that he will take me back. He wrote. And then he continued writing his, regular thing daily. What happened? This happened. I met this devotee, that devotee, this. That's it. Then he passed away on the same day. And he is not even a ISKCON devotee. He's not an ISKCON devotee. He doesn't chant Hare Krishna mantra. He chants some other mantra. I don't know, probably Radhe Sham. So, some other mantra. But he was a sincere devotee of the Lord. Unknown. He was not having some big position or Bhagavad speaker or anything like nothing. And the sons of this man, old man, they knew Vrajbihari Prabhu. They called him. They said, Prabhuji, we want to talk. Please come. After some time, when he went there, they showed. See, my father wrote this several months back. He wrote, on June 14 or whatever, that Thakurji will come and take me. And on the very same day, he left his body, Prabhuji. And then he Prabhu says that all his hair was standing on end. Unknown person, don't know what he's done, but everybody knows he was just a devotee. When the Lord can show so much mercy on him, then why not somebody who is dedicated to the greatest Acharya chosen by the Supreme Lord, Srila Prabhupada, when we are trying to render service to him and his disciples in whatever capacity we have, whatever little book distribution we are trying to do during marathon, or trying to preach, or trying to do some temple service or some deity worship, that is a sure shot guaranteed that success is there. We ourselves do not have the capacity to liberate ourselves, but the Lord's mercy is unlimited. So the Lord is easily pleased when somebody is rendering service to another Vaishnava. So that could be the answer. I hope it satisfies, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Okay. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class. And two key points Prabhuji mentioned was the eagerness and Vaishnava Seva. And so many examples from scriptures, Prabhuji. And thank you so much. Let us express our heartfelt gratitude by loudly chanting once Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. There are a few important announcements. We will all quickly assemble downstairs. We'll do it together with all the other. Hare Krishna.